Virgin Australia is standing down hundreds of staff. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee. Let's look at this article from ABC News. Virgin Australia stands down hundreds of workers before Easter. Virgin Australia is facing action in the Fair Work Commission after it decided to stand down hundreds of ground staff for 3 weeks ahead of the Easter long weekend. It also comes as the JobKeeper wage subsidy expired over the weekend, which had provided crucial life support for the aviation industry as it struggles to keep afloat during the pandemic. The Transport Workers Union will argue on behalf of the workers that the airline breached terms of the enterprise agreement by standing down 800 staff from the 29th of March to the 18th of April without first consulting them. At least they haven't been fired. It is seeking an order from the FWC that Virgin was not authorized to stand down its pit crew, that the airline is required to roster them for their ordinary hours in the next 3 weeks, and they should be paid their Easter penalty rates. Okay. Does the union not understand what's going on in the world right now? I mean, if the Transport Workers Union were so good at running businesses, they wouldn't be union, would they? However, Virgin disputes the union's claim, saying only 170 staff were affected, and that any allegations it fully stood down its ground crew in the wake of JobKeeper ending are categorically false. The company also said the majority of ground staff affected are currently working close to their full normal hours and that none are fully stood down. Workers cut adrift after JobKeeper. In a letter sent to its staff on Thursday, Virgin said the stand-down direction was due to a limitation on the availability of work caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, which means that you cannot be employed for your normal days and hours of work. Well, I have family that work at the airport today in Brisbane, 30 people for a whole shift. 30 people, guys, coming in and out. It predated the Queensland government's decision on Monday to put Brisbane in a snap lockdown to deal with its growing COVID clusters. Virgin has confirmed the affected workers are based nationally, not just in Brisbane. TWU National Secretary Michael Caine said the decision would put serious financial strain on workers and their families. This disastrous move by the Prime Minister means domestic aviation workers have been cut adrift, and Virgin workers are now worried sick about how they will pay their bills and feed their families, he said. I mean, not to be harsh, guys, but this is a huge global pandemic where governments all over the world, to try and mitigate it, have intervened in their economy and shut down entire swathes of business sector tourism. We have now risk of at a state level of snap lockdowns, border closures, inhibiting your ability to travel from one state to another. Would you risk it going on a holiday to relax? How could you relax if you were in another state when the sort of Damocles is over your head that potentially you could be locked down and have to spend thousands of dollars on accommodation coming home, or your plans could be disrupted? They shouldn't be looking at Virgin for blame. They need to ask the question of whether the economic impacts of these lockdowns are worth it. Okay, that if the benefits are worth the sacrifices that we are making, the jobs that we are destroying, the livelihoods that are being lost, is that all worth it? It's not being discussed anywhere in the media. Politically, you saw there was a candidate down in Tasmania, and I'll look at some, a Liberal candidate for pre-selection. He was disowned or removed because he went to anti-lockdown demonstrations. You can't even be critical of it anymore. Maybe it's true. People are saying maybe Australians love to be ruled over. So, under Virgin's enterprise agreement with workers represented by the TWU, the airline is allowed to stand down workers if its workload dries up because of a catastrophic event like a pandemic. But in its FWC application, the union is arguing Virgin's reasons were not genuine. What the heck? I mean, this is the problem. Unions are cartels. They're labor cartels. They try and get a stranglehold on the workers and then use them for their own gain. And that causes a reduction in working conditions for those not in the cartel, everyone. And then they leverage that for political power to, as no different to any other crony capitalist organization, to get benefits for their members or for their organization or for their company. This is another reason why they're in bed with the banks. They don't want you to have control over your money. They want to have their super funds with their members on the boards. And they're not the good guys, everyone. Don't be so foolish to think that. Look at the coal mining sector. Look at all the casual work. Look at all the people who own those contract labor hire companies. You know, all related to the union leaders. So you can't trust them, everyone. Don't be so naive. It claims some of the airline workers have already been working over and above their normal working arrangements in the past 2 to 3 months, and said one employee had worked 88.45 hours in the previous fortnight. So what? One person out of how many? Maybe they had to work extra. Maybe they actually have skills. So there we go, guys. Virgin and the TWU are in dispute about how many workers have been stood down. Virgin blames the pandemic for its decision. Workers have been stood down in several states. I can't say I'm at all surprised about this. I mean, here's the question, or the challenge that people face. If you're working for Virgin or you're working for an airline, do you go and try and shift careers? Do you try and find another career now? Because that's maybe the only option that you have. Or do you try and hope that you can keep the career that you've built there and stay? That's a really tough call. Because honestly, the older you get, it gets harder to shift career. It gets harder to learn again, harder to jump through all the hoops. But in the long run, it may be the smarter thing to do. What do you reckon, everyone? What would you do in that situation? I know my sister-in-law, who works at the airport, she's spent a lot of money getting insurance, getting qualifications, so she can shift careers. So she can do both. Just to have a backup. It's something you need to do in this situation. Because you can't depend on Virgin to take care of you, honestly. You need to have multiple ways to bring a coin in. It's going to be tough. It's a recession. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one in the comments down below. What do you think? You think the union's in the right? Or do you think Virgin are in the right? Or is everyone screwed because the government's just going to come and change the rules whenever they can? And would you actually be brave enough to go on a holiday now? It just seems like insane to me. As always, thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one in the comments down below. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can support us. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links from Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. Take care, have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.